Hello, my name is Carey Cohill, and I am the co-founder of Just Effort, the 8-week transformation. And I have one amazing soul with me named Shelly. And Shelly has volunteered to share part of her story with you today. And let's just jump into it because I know I'm just so excited for you to hear Shelly's story. So just to give you a little bit of background, we are just concluding week 2 of an 8-week transformation. And I would love to first start with you, Shelly. What is the first word that comes to your mind? Like, how are you feeling? And we're just concluding week 2.
The first word that comes to mind is free. I am finally free of all those chains that have held me back for so many years.
Free from the chains that have held me back. I love that. So take me back. How would for this, I'm going to call her the old Shelly, the former Shelly. How did she feel?
The former Shelly felt not confident at all, though she could exude confidence to others. Inside, there was no confidence. There was no belief that she could do things. She was constantly apologizing for things, and just generally believed that she wasn't worth it. She put everyone else ahead of herself. She didn't make time for herself. She didn't make herself a priority the way she should be. And, physically, mentally, she suffered because of it.
So I just heard so many amazing things so you said yes, but to everyone else but yourself.
Yes.
You showed up to things and appeared to be successful, but did not feel that way on the inside at all. You just showed up.
I'm the master of the false mask. I can appear like everything's going great, and inside I'm a complete mess.
Gosh, how many of those watching right now can relate to that? From the outside, you can make everybody else appear that, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's good over here. But you have a mask on. It's not fine. That's so powerful. And there is something that you said, I think it just came out of even week 1, the epiphany that came out of, I think it was her first coaching session, maybe the second one. Do you remember what you said about when you play it small or when you keep yourself small?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the epiphany that came out of week 1 was when I feel small and inadequate, my weight makes me bigger. And I could template that back through my whole life of how I was feeling at different times where I really, really struggled with my weight.
So when you believe and when you allow yourself to be small and hidden, your weight is the one thing that actually gave you a presence. Like, it made you bigger. It was the only thing that was almost showing up, because the other part of you was almost staying in the shadows, putting those masks on and not really wanting others to truly see you.
Right.
Wow. So we are only on week 2 of 8 and all of this is already happening. Chills. So what would you say if you were just to pick one? What's been your favorite exercise that you have done in the Just Effort program?
I would have to say my favorite exercise was the visualization exercise that Debbie led us through, where we're finding our edge. And it was the visualization of crossing that canyon or that ravine, and getting to the gift that was on the other side. And that particular exercise, it was probably one of the more painful ones, but at the same time, one of the most freeing exercises that we did.
I love the most painful, but yet the most freeing. So not everybody will know that finding your edge is an exercise that we do in Just Effort, and it's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But it allows you to go on a journey where you actually, maybe for the first time, see your pattern. And it's your pattern of how you self-destruct and self-sabotage, how you don't allow yourself gifts, how you don't allow yourself to have the good things in life. Would you say that was true for your experience?
Absolutely. Yeah, it really opens your eyes to how you operate through life. You know, it brought out the way that I overanalyze things, the way that I question my judgment, the way that I avoid conflict. I mean, it was all of those things. And then ultimately the way that I see myself as a failure.
Yeah. Yes. Seeing yourself as a failure, which in many times it sounds like has kept you from really putting yourself out there and actually doing things. Because if you're either going to overthink it or fail anyway, why do it? Why do it then? Would that be fair? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I love that. And this Find Your Edge is just one of the many exercises and tools that you'll have in the Just Effort 8-week transformation. But let's talk to what are some of the physical signs. So since you started just a little over 2 weeks ago, what are you noticing physically that's already changed?
Physically, I am less on edge, less anxious, less irritable. And what that does on the flip side is it gives me the ability to be more present in the moments. So I'm not thinking about tomorrow or next week and sabotaging today. I am in and living today.
You're here, like she's here right now for you and not thinking about her email, the next appointment, text message,
right?
All the things she has. You're here. And not
and I
afraid.
never used to do that. I was always the multitasking
Queen.
Mm-hmm.
That would you say you were a problem solver or a fixer? Were you, yes, I can fix anything, or were you the problem solver?
I can fix anything.
I can fix it. And you know what's so interesting, when you go on the inside and start to realizing that belief that really dictates everything in your life. And I believe yours was if around something is wrong with me. What's your limiting belief right now?
I'm not enough.
I am not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine now when you're operating from this place of I am enough, are you noticing that there's less things to fix, even in this first 2 weeks?
Absolutely. I don't have to fix things because I'm not intentionally breaking them. Whereas before I was sabotaging myself.
Oh my gosh, I want everybody to hear that. There's nothing left to fix because she's not intentionally breaking them anymore, because that was confirming the belief she held deep, deep in her subconscious of I am not enough. And that is the work we do in this program. We undo the false beliefs that is literally keeping us stuck. And weight is just one of the ways that we're keeping that stuck on us, because it's just another problem, right, that we're going to have to fix. But once you release that belief, then everything else physically can follow. You're giving it permission. It doesn't need to be there anymore. So what would you say, and I remember you saying actually something, wasn't there something about your stomach, like you were feeling less, was it Was that what you, less bloated or less, or something with your stomach going on?
Right. So there's trapped emotions that basically I was holding in my midsection. And when we did the exercise on releasing those trapped emotions, immediately, like I did not have the stomach discomfort and tenseness that I have had for years. I didn't have the bloating anymore. I didn't have the random strange pains that would come up.
I love that. So just even seeing those physical signs, like releasing and undoing. And if this sounds foreign to you, it's probably because it is. Because Shelly, if I took you back to our connection call right now and I started talking about that we're going to release beliefs and your stomach is going to feel better, would you have believed me?
No, I would have thought it was some kind of hocus pocus mumbo jumbo.
Right? Yes. So I actually want to go back there. So take me back to our connection call, which was just a few weeks ago. It was you and I. What would you tell the former Shelly today? If you could go back, what would you tell her?
Wow.
And we're only 2 weeks in. That's what's so amazing.
I would tell her, don't hesitate. Don't overthink things. Intuitively, this is what you need. Listen to that voice that's telling you this is what you need.
Trust the voice. I love that. And is it fair to say, like, even if it doesn't all make sense, but you have this knowingness, it's like, just listen to it. Go. Does that resonate?
Too many times we have our intuition, our inner self, our higher self is talking to us, and we give them the stiff arm, talk to the hand. Nope, I'm not going to listen to you. We squash it, we push it down, we repress it because, we think we know everything, and we're still buying into those false beliefs. So we're not going to listen to something that's telling us otherwise.
Absolutely.
But if you dial into your intuition and you listen to what your inner self is trying to tell you, it's going to guide you where you need to be. I mean, that goes back to when you and I met.
Yeah.
At that luncheon, you gave the presentation and I literally felt like you were staring at and talking directly to me.
Do you remember, and Shelly, what's funny about this presentation that I gave, it was at just a small little restaurant. And I believe you couldn't even stay for the whole meeting, correct?
Right. Because I had a contractor come into the house and the meeting was running over and I couldn't stay later because I had to be back to let him in. So I ended up having to leave probably about maybe halfway through your presentation. Yeah. But it was the way you opened it up that was what was speaking to me. And
just for those, because most of that will be watching this, we're not there that day. What stuck out to you that I said, or was like, oh, like what was that? What was that for you?
Well, you had a presentation planned.
I did.
And you literally felt called to talk about something else, and you threw your planned presentation basically in the trash, and you got up there and you talked from the heart. And everything that you were speaking about resonated with me to the point where, if you remember, I messaged you on Facebook Messenger later that day because I wasn't able to see and I was like, girlfriend, we need to talk.
Do you remember like the gist of, like, what was the thing that I said that stood the most out to you, besides that I threw away my whole presentation I was about to give and it was just going to come through me? Let's see what comes out.
Well, I think really what resonated with me was when you talked about kind of the journey that you've been on and how, you up and moved and you're going to find yourself. And, and it's like, okay, I'm supposed to be happy now, right? Why don't I feel happy? Like, I'm supposed to be happy now, right?
Yep. Where's the happiness? Where did
Yep.
Yes.
I up and moved for all of this. Now I'm supposed to be happy. Why am I not happy?
Yes. Yes, that journey to finding myself has been since 2015. And I will say, and we are in the year 2022 for those watching this replay, much into after the year of 2022. And all I can say is what has taken me over 6-7 years to accomplish, Shelly has done in 2 weeks. To me, lit up with goosebumps. I can feel that because I've been through a journey and I have suppressed so much because I was afraid to show up. And now that's all gone. My limiting belief is now removed. And now I'm like, oh, that's what you were trying to tell me. I was too afraid to listen. So what would be anything right now that's coming across your heart to share with future Just F It family members that are thinking about joining this program? They feel guided, but yet they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know, should I? It could be a lot of money. Oh my gosh, am I gonna have time for this? What would you say to them?
Well, I mean, first I would say, look, like you, my journey has been a long one too. We tend to try everything that doesn't work first. And then you find the thing that does. But to find the thing that does work, you have to trust. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust your intuition. And when you find it, you have to not question it. So for me, it was, I probably came into the call thinking, well, I don't know if this is really for me, but I'm going to do this call and I'm going to see. And as we talked, it was like, oh, hell yeah, this is it. Like, this is what I need. This is for me. And yep. I literally jumped in that day with both feet. And it's like, you have to do that. But that comes from the place of believing that you're worth it. Like, you are worth this investment in yourself to become the very best you, to bring out the very best of you that has been suppressed for so long. It's not about creating a different person. It's about uncovering the person who's always been there, that has had these blankets all piled on top of them that they've been hiding under. And it's shedding all those layers that we have put over top of ourselves to hide ourselves.
Can't tell if I'm going to cry or pass out. I was like, I got to move my legs. Yes to all of that. I mean, because the real you is already there and is shouting, please let me out. This is what the world needs. Enough of all of these masks, and as you just said, blankets and layers. Enough of all, pardon my bullshit. Enough of all of this bullshit that we've held on for far too long. And what I can promise you on this journey, and Shelly can definitely add or agree here, is that's what this journey is all about, is undoing those false beliefs. For many, you don't even know they're there. You may intuitively know something's there, but you don't even know what it is. We guide you in a proven way to help you discover these beliefs in a safe environment and release them. And once you release them, you can actually replace them. That's the key part. So many coaches just tell you to think positive. Don't think that way anymore. If you have a broken belief, you can't just put a positive belief on top of it. That's like building a house on sand. It does not work. You have to remove that false belief, and more importantly, even know what it is. So when it comes up again, you are aware, and then you have the tools to release it, replace it, and move on from the perfect you that has always been there.
Absolutely. It really is a process. And we actually talked in, I think it was our last call. You know me, butterfly is my spirit animal, and I raise and release monarch butterflies. And the reason why I identify with the butterflies is because they go through a transformation process that is literally a month long. They go from this tiny, smaller than the tip of your fingernail caterpillar through this process of becoming a bigger caterpillar and a bigger caterpillar. And then they convert to this pod, chrysalis. And inside that chrysalis, they literally become goo so that they can transform to the butterfly that you see hatch out of it. And, sometimes you got to go through the goo to get to the beauty that's on the other side. But you have to trust the process. And that has been the best thing about all of this is, those of us that are in the program together right now have all come in willing to do the work, willing to be open with each other, willing to be vulnerable and bare our souls. And it is supportive and loving and caring and giving, and it is an amazing tribe. Like, it is such a safe space to just completely bare yourself and be vulnerable.
Yes, that is everything it is. So 2 things that I know Shelly invites you. I invite you to become a part of this family. If you have not booked your connection call yet, there will be a button somewhere on this page around here. Book that call. Just that, wouldn't you say just that call alone is like.
Yeah, just that call alone started to reveal things that I hadn't realized.
Yes. So I invite you. You are welcome into this family. If you know that this is your time, you don't actually know how, there's a lot of things racing through your mind, but it is the time to stop hiding. It is the time to show up for you. You're ready to release these things you've held on for years and years and years. Then please book your connection call, because we would love to welcome you with open arms into the family and allow you to become the very best version of you. Once again, it's somewhere down here. Book your connection call. We look forward to going on this journey with you. And thank you, Shelly, for sharing. You're going to have to come back when actually the 8 weeks concludes, because once again, folks, we're only on week 2.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Trust yourself. Just do it.
Love it. Love it. Love you all. Book your connection call below.